All right, boys and girls, this is day three, day three of week two. Okay, so you already had Mr. Martinez just finished giving his lecture and showing you examples of how to find slope. The introduction of this one was given to you by Ms. Flores. Okay, both very detailed explanations, somewhat similar, somewhat different. Doesn't mean they're wrong. They're actually both correct. They're just wording it differently. Okay, there's very rare that there's one, every one teacher that teaches the same. Okay, so from if you don't understand it from Mr. Martinez, then hopefully you get it from me. If you don't get it from me, then hopefully you get it from Ms. Flores. If you don't understand Ms. Flores, then hopefully you understand from Mr. Martinez. So on and so forth, guys. Okay, this is why we're doing things the way we're doing right now. And again, none of this is brand new to you guys. All of this is I got rerun, I guess. It's all review for you guys. You guys have seen this before, should have seen it before. We're just trying to help you perfect it and master it before you guys move on to your freshman year at Vela or Bobcats or Edinburgh North or Economides. Okay. Um, so with this video right here, I'm gonna give you guys a little update first. Okay, as far as what's going on with our president and whatnot. Um, I read this in the news actually a little while ago. Pretty crazy. It says, so the people that protect the president, they're called the Secret Service, right? They're the ones that protect the president that, they think that he's gonna get, attacked or whatever. Their job is to jump in front of him and, do whatever they have to do to protect him, our president, right? So, well, this rule just changed and it says, a Secret Service isn't allowed to yell, get down anymore. Usually whenever, like, the president's gonna get assassinated, they'll tell him, get down, right? Like the action movies and whatnot. But now they've been ordered to say, Donald Duck, Donald, Donald Duck. Get it, guys? Because Donald is the president's name and Donald Duck is a cartoon character. If you don't get it, ask your parents. I'm sure they get it. It's our era. Okay. Anyways, back to this. Uh, back to finding slope and y-intercept. We've already covered what we needed to cover with slope. Taught you a couple different ways to do it. Now we're going to go into the y-intercept. Let's get into this right here. It says y-intercept. Another attribute of a line is its y-intercept. The y-intercept of a line is the point where it intercepts the y-axis. This is key right here. Okay, this is key right here. The y-intercept is where the line intercepts the y-axis. The y-intercept will have coordinates of 0b. What this means right here, guys, is that your x will always be 0 and your y will always be literally any other number. It could be 0, it could be 4, it could be -4, it could be whatever other number. Okay? But what they're trying to get to you get across to you here is that this number for every y-intercept will never change. It will always be 0. Sometimes the y-intercept is referred to by giving only the b. Okay, what this means right here is when it's given to you in the form of y equals mx plus b. Well, this b right here is your y-intercept. Okay. For example, the information given may state the line has a y-intercept of 2. This means that 0, 2 is a point on the line. If the information states that the line passes through the origin, for those of you that don't know, which all of you guys sure, I'm sure you guys do know, the origin is 0, 0, then the y-intercept is 0. Okay, the y-intercept will be 0 because the y right here, this y point, is going to be 0. Okay, so let's look at example number 6. What are the y-intercepts of the lines graph below? Okay, it says what are the y-intercepts of the lines graph below? So if we look at this here, it's pretty much breaking it down for you, and it's not always going to be given to you like this. Probably never going to be given to you like this. Okay, so I'm going to highlight a couple things here. Every graph consists of a y and x-axis. So for those of you that know me, know I got surgical hands, so my lines are super straight. Years of practice, guys. So hopefully one of these days you guys can get to that. Okay. So those are the two lines that I just finished highlighting that create my y-axis and my x-axis that create my graph, right? So we're looking for the y-intercept here. Okay. This is what are the y-intercepts of the lines graphed? Okay. This right here of the lines graphed, what that means is, well, what line is graphed? Okay. The line that's actually graphed, I'm going to highlight it here in lime green. Okay, I'll do it one more time to make it a little bit darker. Lime green, that's the line that's graphed. What this question is asking is, at what point does the graphed line and the y-axis, this is key, cross? Okay, that's what it's asking you. Okay, so we notice here, this is right here that I'm pointing at. This is my x-axis. Do I care about this point? Not yet. You don't care about this point yet. Eventually, later on in math, you will, but right now we don't care about this point. The only point we do care about is this one right here. Okay, because that's where this line and this line cross. That's where they meet each other. Okay, well, what point is that specifically? If you forget how to read coordinate points, kind of refer back to this here, back to this rule. If we're looking for the y-intercept, your x will always be 0. So there you go. 0. And well, where's the y at? In other words, what point is this? Well, that's 4. Remember, this is your x, this is your y. Okay, so my y-intercept, oops. So my y-intercept is at 0, 4. Okay, this 4 right here is also known as your b in the form of y equals mx plus b. Okay, that's your y-intercept. Okay, let's look at example B. This one they're trying to trick you a little bit because they're giving you 2 points here. Okay, and I know they're already in red, but I'm gonna highlight them in red. They're giving you these points right here, right? So what point do we actually care about? Do we care about point number 1 or point number 2? Do we care about the x-axis or the y-axis when we're looking for the y-intercept, right? It's pretty clear and pretty obvious, guys, that we don't care about this point right here. We don't care about that point. We care about this point right here. Okay? And again, in the rule up here, I'm always going to refer to it. When you're given, when you're asking for a y-intercept, you're always going to be given the fact that your x will always be 0. Okay, so I could automatically write that for my x. It would always be 0 for y-intercept. Well, at what point does it cross the y? Is it at 3? If you agree with me, you're wrong. Not 3, guys. -3. Okay, -3. It's below the old point of origin. It's below it. So therefore, it's -3. So my y is -3. Okay. And again, if we were to write this in the form of y equals mx plus b, right? This part right here is my plus b. Okay, well, sir, it's a negative. Can I write it in the form of y equals mx plus -3? You can. You can. It's not, I guess, appropriate to write it in that form. It's not, it doesn't make it incorrect. Don't get me wrong. It's not incorrect. Uh, but instead of writing plus -3, you can also just write y equals mx minus 3. Okay. All right. Any questions with that, guys? Well, not like I can see your hands go up, right? But if you do have any questions, shoot me a message through Remind or through Google Classroom, and I'll be able to help you out. Hey, and speaking of, when you're going through these videos and you're going through these lessons, guys, write down your questions right then and there. He didn't go over this. She didn't cover this. What happened to this? What do I do if this happens? Whatever questions you have right then and there, write them down. Don't forget. It's key. It's important, guys. It's very, very important. Just because school's out doesn't mean that we stop learning here. No, 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 no. You're not done with school yet. Okay, you're not done with school. You're not done with your eighth grade year, and you're certainly not done with high school either. A lot of this stuff is very, very important for Algebra 1 that we're going over right now. Okay, so the faster you learn it, the easier it'll be for you. Okay, let's go to example C here. Now, notice in example A, they pointed what the y-intercept was. In example B, they didn't. Okay, so they're giving you less and less information. So now let's look at example C. See, they're giving you the y-axis. Whoops, the highlighter. They're giving the y-axis, they're giving you the x-axis, and they're giving you a green line. Okay. Notice on example B, they gave you plotted points. Here, they're not giving you any plotted points. Okay, so now it's kind of giving you a little bit more room to be independent towards it. Again, we're looking for the y-intercept. We know, boom, one of the rules for the y-intercept is that my x, I'm not going to put it in that form, I'll put it in the form of my x will always equal 0. My y, well, I don't know. Okay, but again, my x will always equal 0 because I'm looking for the y-intercept. Again, because I'm looking for the y-intercept, I'm going to highlight the y-axis. The line that's highlighted right here in red. That's my y-axis. I don't care much about my x-axis, okay? So I don't care where this green line crosses the x-axis. And this point right here crosses right here, but again, this is irrelevant for me, okay? Because I want my y-axis. So I'm gonna, or not highlight, but circle my point where they cross, where my y-axis and my graph line cross, and it crosses at this point right here. What number is that? Well, it's above the origin, so therefore 1, 2, 3. So my y is 3. So therefore my y-intercept is 0, 3. Okay. And what would my b be in y equals mx plus b? What would this number be? Y equals mx minus 3? Is this a minus 3? Nope. Positive 3. So y equals mx plus 3 would be my y-intercept. Okay. Here they gave you the y-axis and the x-axis. That's it. And then finally, this is more realistic on how you're going to see it. Starting next year again, is you're not going to get points. They're going to just straight up ask you, hey, what is the y-intercept? Okay, what is the y-intercept here? Do the same steps. Remember the rules. Be asking for y-intercept. Since I know it's asking for the y-intercept, I know that my x will always be 0. And my y is what I'm looking for. Y-intercept, my y value. Do I care about any of my x values? No, I do not care about these x values. Okay, all I care about is where does this graph line and where does the y-axis, at what point do they cross at? Exactly at what point? Okay, they cross exactly at this point right here. Again, the number where I just circled is above the origin, so therefore makes it positive. Therefore, y equals 6. So my form in the x and y coordinate points is going to be 0, 6. Okay. Talked enough about the slope. Actually, not the slope, but I'm sorry, but the y-intercept. And again, Mr. Martinez and Ms. Flores talked about how to find slope. Okay, so now you're gonna practice these together. Okay, and luckily some of them they're giving you quite a bit of hints, they're giving you a couple points here and there, so that's good. Don't expect it all the time, right? But try your absolute best on it. And depending on how many of you guys actually start turning in these assignments, guys, the faster we get to actually review them to see what mistakes you made, if any, of course, or what misconceptions you may have so we can correct them. Um, One thing I am going to point out as far as the misconceptions is when you do rise and run, and it might have been covered as well, but again, I'm just going to explain my version of it. If you do rise and run, whenever you're doing slope, when you do rise and run, a very, very common misconception or an error, a very common error that constantly is made is when the rise is being done, instead of doing it this way in green, a common error that I see done is I see you guys going along, whoops, I see you guys going along the line. Okay, so that's this part right here is wrong. Okay, you have to go either up and down first, and then left and right. That's your rise, and then that's your run. Okay, so just be careful with that misconception there, or the common error. Um, Again, if you guys need anything else, and you guys want to be added to my remind, you necessarily do not have to be just my student. If you want to be added to it, I post things and remind as well. Feel free to add, or feel free to ask for my remind code, or just email me and let me know you want to be added to it so I can figure out a way to add you. But my email is going to be michael.aguilar at ecisd.us. Okay, email me, guys, if you guys need help with anything. Okay, again, myself, Miss Flores, and Mr. Martinez, we're all here to help you guys out in any which way we can, make this as easy as possible. It's different that we're not in class, but nonetheless, we are still here for you. Nothing has changed. Okay, the only thing we haven't done so far is seen each other in a while. Um, but I might be here setting up a Zoom or a Google Meets very soon, guys. Just stand by for that. Keep an eye out for that. Um, but yeah, anything I can help you guys out with or do for you guys, don't hesitate to ask. Give me a call. Have your parents give me a call. Shoot me a text message. Whatever it is. All right, I'm here for you guys. All right. Most important, guys, is stay safe. Please follow all the rules that need to be followed, guys, and keep yourselves at home as much as possible. I'm home a lot right now. I don't like it. But because I'm not used to it, but doesn't matter if I like it or if I'm used to it. The fact is that I'm doing it because I'm not gonna put myself in harm's way or my family. Okay, same thing with you guys. Just you know, don't be considerate of yourselves and be considerate of others, guys, especially your family members. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Anything you just need to give me guys a text message to remind or email me, however which way you guys can get in contact with me, and I'm here. All right.